Hello, this is National Chess Master All Rats to continue my video series at chess.com on the correspondence team match between my video lessons group and the team CARPE DIEM. This is on board 94, basically high 1700 rating versus high 1600 rating. And let's have a look at the games. Our man is Kroksis, if I said that right. And Rossalimo Sicilian, I believe they call this. And it's not a very common scene opening, so it still follows a lot of the principles of the Sicilian defense. Now here the queen goes to b6. You know, logically you might want to think c7. It could get tempoed again, but black has time to play a6 and stop that. But this provides a little pressure on b2. White just simply castles, and black goes about his business to continue his development. And here I think white starts to slip just a little bit. The logical move, you want to get this bishop developed, but you want to drop this pawn. So the logical move is bring this knight back to b3. And then you're ready to play bishop e3 and tempo the black queen. Although it kind of works out, as we'll see. Now he's trying to set up some nasty discoveries, like for instance, if bishop g7, knight f5, and you're going to lose that knight on g7, but it becomes a big nuisance for black to handle all these things. So black just parks his queen and gets out of this, out of those discoveries, and it looks like white's doing okay. He's got just about everything developed, and black doesn't. Black still has to get his bishops into play and get castled. But one thing black does have is the bishop pair. But now's the time for white to continue with development. Instead, he plays kind of like a natural move. One plays in the Sicilian. He's going to play f4. But he never follows it up with any kind of a logical plan. He kind of sways back and forth here, as we will see. This rook is misplaced. You get over on the d file. He's tempted to attack the white queen or black queen, but now white just makes a bad move. He probably put the wrong knight on b5. Nothing is covering e4, so basically white just hangs a pawn. He's trying to set up a Marazzi bind situation, but he's just given up a clear pawn, and it's a clear advantage for black, just like that. So nothing white can really do now. Any chance he had for an advantage or a kingside attack is pretty much gone. Now all of a sudden the black pieces start activating. He's getting developed with tempo. See, now he's clearing a space for the bishop to get into with tempo. Now the bishop's on a long diagonal, and white doesn't have a light squared bishop. So probably white would like to play the knight here to oppose that diagonal, but one problem is this knight hangs. And it hangs because he's weakened himself with b3. He never did get his c4 idea in. So white redeploys the knight to d1, and it doesn't really have much of a future. It's going to get in its way. And now white's still trying to get c4, and I suppose. And maybe he should have tried it here. Maybe just try c4, get it in. If black takes en passant, knight comes back to the scene of the crime, so to speak. And it's a reasonable game of chess. But he doesn't. He puts the knight on f2, and this is a horrible mistake, as will be seen in a moment. Well, actually, the mistake is about to come. Black just solidifies his pawn on b5, and white looks at this and says, oh, look, I've got a b5 square. Let me go attack the queen. So you see, white's kind of been shifting back and forth, kingside, queenside, with his several moves. F4, 12 f4 kingside, 13 knight cb5 queenside, 14 b3 queenside, 15 and 16 were queenside moves. So was 17. Then 18's back on the kingside, 19 redeploying a queenside piece, and 20 kingside. But you see, this just runs into a tactical flaw. Black goes and threatens checkmate, and it's not only the checkmate threat. It's there's going to be a latent threat against this knight. So to cover this, black has to move his knight. Where do you want to put it? Let's just pick a square. Let's put him on h3. Well, bishop a6 comes, and this knight is going to be lost, and thus game over. White loses a piece, and with that the game. So where did White go wrong? Let's just take a quick look because there's not much to the next game. Let's give this another little review. We'll say that White's position was okay here when he picked knight cb5. As I was saying, get this rook over to the d file. Let Black catch up in development. Let's put the queen on f3 for the fun of it. Let Black go about his business, what he was going to do. Now let's bring this rook over here. And now here. And you got to be careful. Well, e5, bishop b7. Let's transfer this knight to the... Now transfer this knight to the king side. Bishop here, pressures e4. Knight here. It's a game. Who knows what's going to happen? Okay, let's reset this, bring up the other game. And not too much to it, unfortunately. Look, never starts it. Sometimes it starts the game. Whoops, I just wiped it out. Hit the white to move button. Okay, so PGN. There we go. Black commits a horrible blunder in the opening here, right out after it. Now here, I think Black made a mistake. This is a perfect time to bring the bishop out. Oh, is it? Yeah, it is. Okay, watch. Bishop f5. Are you afraid of g4? He shouldn't be. Now you got to cover things. Now, hey, we get counterplay. This is looking good for Black. And White doesn't have time for h3 because there'll be a pin, so he can take, and that's a weak pawn that Black can pick up at his leisure, or whether he takes it or not or pushes by, Black reacquires this f5 square. Great square for Black. But there's nothing making White play g4. I'm just saying, why doesn't he play it? Is he afraid of g4? Well, what else does he do? Maybe play c3. Well, you're kind of in some respects, like an advanced Caro-Kann, where you save the tempo. We didn't have to move twice to get to c5. Black is doing well here. Black has a piece developed. White doesn't have any. White's shut in his own dark squared bishop. So, but e6 is playable. It kind of takes on the characteristics of a French defense, and which is playable for Black. And knight takes, it just seems to lead to a level position. Now here, I'm going to criticize White for his next move because I've been picking on people this whole event. These people that shove their rook pawns. Why? This does not develop anything. Who cares if Black gets bishop to this square? Who cares? He's certainly not going to get a knight there, right? How's that knight going to get there? Gee, how long? 1. Got to move the queen. 2, 3, 4. Oh, finally I'm there. Okay. Develop a piece. Here, let me show you a much better move. Okay, bishop e3. Now, there's no threat to the pawn on b2 because the queen can't move like a knight and check and pick it off. Okay. Now you've taken away a good diagonal from the Black bishop, and if he comes and opposes it, well, just develop your queen. Okay, see, 2 pieces developed just like that. And you don't mind trading dark square bishops because you've shut yours in behind your pawns. A3 doesn't really help your game. And now Black, I like Black's position better now, but Black is just going to make a horrible blunder and throw this game away. White develops a piece, and so it, obviously moving too fast. I mean, nobody's going to make this move in a tournament game. White has a threat. White's threatening to win the queen with a pin, bishop b5. How can Black miss this? Well, it's simple. He looks at the games, looks at the position, doesn't analyze, and just develops something. And now virtually game over. White is winning the queen. And I guess Black played on because he was playing the other game. And we saw how that ended. They both ended about the same time. And really, there's nothing to it. White's ahead of queen for a bishop. And here goes the pawn. And White doesn't even have to really... Well, he should be careful. He is weakening his king side up. He can't castle, but Black just doesn't have enough firepower to cause any damage. And the knight always has a way out. And, this weakens the white queen side, but it doesn't matter. Black doesn't have any good squares. He goes back where he started. Now he's trying to find a square. Where? G6. Now White starts his pawns running. Let's go advance pawns and attack your king. What can Black do? Nothing. He just sends that knight back whence he came, and grabs another pawn. Look at that knight. He's been hopping around. Landed on c6 several times this game. And White just keeps taking space. He's got a queenside space advantage. He's got a kingside space advantage. And at this point, Black decided enough is enough. I'm resigning. So unfortunately, there wasn't much to these two games other than, more proof that if you play fast in a correspondence chess game, you're going to blunder. If you take your time, my goodness, how can someone not see when you have 3 days to move? When you have 3 days to move, that's not quite the right position. You have 3 days to move. How can you not see this move? Well, it's because this guy is probably playing 100 games. He's logs on. He's probably got 20 games to answer. He just starts going down the list. Somebody played a move, okay, you'll play here. We'll go to the next one. Someone played a move, you go here. Go to the next one. Imagine his surprise when he probably didn't even know he was losing his queen until the next time he went through his games. He saw this position where his queen was pinned. And he probably says, oh, fill in the blank. Will this teach him? I was really surprised. We have some time on the video here. I'm just going to throw this in. When I created my video lessons program, it launched in April of 2012. This was before I was active on chess.com. I had already made a membership there in November of 2011, but I didn't even post it on chess.com for about a week or so after I got going. Then I started we got the video lessons group started and started getting members to it, and everything is kind of like history since. But if you haven't watched video lessons 001, you need to watch it, because I outline in 37 minutes what you need to do to improve. And one is to play over the board play and analyze your game afterwards, but the other is correspondence chess, which worked for me. Now, I didn't realize how the internet had changed correspondence chess yet. See, we played by postcard, and your game, if you played somebody in the same country as you, if you were lucky, you could get the game over in 7 months. You trade 4 or 5 moves a week, or I'm sorry, 4 or 5 moves a month, and 7 months, 28 moves. Okay, if you could win quick, you could get a game over in 7 months. But more likely, the games were going to last a year or longer. And if you played somebody outside the United States, you easily look at a 2 or 3 year game. And people today say, oh my God, how could you put up with that? Well, it's not so bad. You have enough games going. There's always something to keep you fresh. And the alternative is, what else do you do? We didn't have email, and we didn't have internet chess sites with servers like this. I remember at one point they even came up with a tournament by fax. That took the post office out of the equation. But anyway, I didn't realize that people did not take their time, and I had to figure it all out. See, when I played correspondence chess, there were a number of organizations, there's still some around, but a number of organizations active in the United States that specialized in nothing but correspondence chess. You paid a membership, you got a magazine, you read all the advice of the top players, and everyone knew to sit there and analyze your game for hours on end. And then when the internet came along, postal chess didn't instantly migrate over to the internet. Okay, it didn't just happen. Couldn't tell you when ICCF switched over to to take the post office out of the equation, because I pretty much stopped play there either 2000 or 2001. I don't quite remember. But there was no, the internet was still in its infancy as far as chess servers went. ICC was around, of course, but chess.com wasn't. And ICC has done very little with correspondence chess. But as more people got exposed to chess through the internet instead of through a chess club and being exposed to chess books, their learning comes, a lot of it comes in the place of playing blitz chess, and because that's a way to play chess right now, and a lot of people get introduced to chess by playing fast moves, and I've seen countless posts by people that consider correspondence chess, online or turn-based, which are both horrible names for it. It's correspondence chess, okay? Get it right. Or postal chess, one or the other. They look at it as an alternative for an over-the-board game. If my opponent happens to be online, I'll sit here and trade as many moves as I can with them. And you all the things you can do to learn. It's all spelled out. You can look up the opening as you play it. You learn it, okay? When the middle game comes, you can analyze, test out your ideas. You see me analyze. Sometimes I analyze bad moves. I'm not here to make a perfect video and show you exactly what the right move is. I'm here to analyze the positions. Some of these positions I don't even look at ahead of time. And I say, oh, this looks interesting. Let's try it out. And we'll discover a big flaw in the plan. Well, so what? That's how you analyze. Even the top-rate grandmasters, when they analyze a game they're playing, they will consider moves that they have to refrain from playing simply because they will lose the game. Everybody analyzes bad moves. That's how you get better. So, when you see a move like Bishop B5 coming, I mean, it's painfully obvious Black is not taking his time. For the most part, if you're a decent player, you can get away with this, but it's going to bite you more often than not, especially if your opponent does take his time. So, like I said, I was just totally amazed that how many people do this and play quick, and it's just simply because when the switch was made from postcard to electronic transmission, the corresponding information of how to play correspondence chess wasn't brought along with it, and people pretty much invented their own ways to play it. And if you play quick, you play quick. If you're having fun, go ahead, but you're not going to improve your game. And that's why I'm here. I'm here because I'm believing the majority of players would certainly like to get better. I'm still trying to get better. I think I am, but I'm still trying. All right. Anyway, thanks so much for looking at this video, and there'll be more. I've got several more. The results keep coming in. It's 5 weeks and a day old now, and this is the 62nd or 63rd video, and I have 6 to 8 of them waiting in the wings, and who knows what results have come in today. But they're going to come out. I'm sure we're going to have over 100 videos in this series. But if you watch the whole series, you're going to learn an awful lot about chess. All right. Thanks so much for your time.